Bonjour, Sara here. I'm a registered dietitian and I've been a personal trainer for over 10 years. And one thing that, I think about, and a reason why I started this channel specifically, is because I really have been, spending so much time in these last 15 years of my life, super highly focused on being healthy and just making sure I have healthy habits all the time. And I'm wearing my watch, and it tells me my steps, and my goal is to get my 10,000 steps. I just had a baby 6 months ago, so man, this whole last year and a half of my life has been very different than before that, where I was so routined and regimented. And so I've been thinking about so many different things that I didn't even think about before I had my baby, as far as kind of what cultures do I want, what do I want to pass on to my kids and my family, and be able to really, what am I passionate about? That has been something that's been on my mind and my heart. And kind of, what are you passionate about? When we start to actually sit down and think about, not what do I do every day, but what makes me want to get up in the morning. And I don't know about you, but there has definitely been times in my life where I haven't really wanted to get up in the morning. I'm like, snooze, 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 right? So now I'm like, bing, I'm up, I'm excited. So the point is, this channel is going to be kind of my journey as far as my other passion. So I love being nutrition, personal training, so exercise, anything fitness, nutrition, health, I love. It makes me happy, it makes me feel alive. However, there's another part of me that I kind of haven't really been exploring. I love cooking. And when I was about 18, 19, I had my stepmom go with me to the Cordon Bleu school, and we checked it out and everything. And I, at the end of the day, I ended up not choosing that path. But I still love cooking. But I would just so over the last 15 years, I've read every nutrition book, so many things. I've made healthy recipes. I've modified unhealthy recipes to be healthy. Right now, I do not own sugar in my house. I have a replacement that I use. I don't, there's just habits that I just don't have. I don't use butter. I like to use olive oil instead of things. So this challenge, I'm probably talking in a million miles an hour, but my brain is get to these books I'm excited about. I just got them in the mail. My reward was I can only look at them if I show you guys too. So this, I love Julia Child, and as you continue, when I start to do these videos, and I'll be sharing with you different recipes. I have so many cookbooks from around the world that we've traveled, and they're I'm in my later 30s now, and I feel for all my 20s, for 10 years, I've spent time traveling, just pushing myself, just pedal to the metal, moving all the time. And now that I have baby and he has to take naps, and you want a little bit more consistency in your life and your home and all of that, I'm finding myself wanting to be able to spend more time cooking, and I have more time in the evenings and stuff to do that. And I'm also not gone because I have to hear him. So it's just a change of pace for me, and so I want to use it wisely. Okay, so one thing is I I've watched the Julia Child, Julie and Julia. Have you guys seen that movie? It is amazing. I just had my husband watch it with me last night so he could understand where I'm at right now. But I love that book. I just love the journey that Julia Child went on. She was in her early 40s when she went to France with her husband and started the Cordon Bleu school. I just love how she didn't let age stop her from wanting to achieve, still live and learn in her life. And I feel very inspired by that, and wanting to still go down this journey, just like Julie did with Julia. Julie in the movie, and it's a true story. So they wrote a book about it and everything, but she has 520 something recipes in this first blue book, or one of them. In the first book, there's 2 volumes. One has 500 and something recipes, and the other one has 200 and something. But Julie did the 525 recipes in 1 year. She had 365 days to blog about all those recipes. 500. That's a lot of recipes and not a lot of days. So, I mean, inspirational right there, right? Like, ooh, what more how can I make more with the time I have? So I just love that this, so this is in the 1960s when she wrote this, right? So Judith, this is from the editor, Judith Jones, in August of 1960. She says, I've had this French cookbook for Americans for almost 2 months now, have read it through, tried innumerable recipes, some simple and some challenging, and I think it's not only a first-rate but unique book. I don't know of another book that succeeds so well in defining and translating for Americans the secrets of French cuisine. The reason? Because the authors emphasize technique, not the number of recipes they can cram into the volume or the exotic nature of the dishes. But reading and studying this book seems to me as good as taking a basic course at the Cordon Bleu. I think this book will become a classic, which it has. Yeah, so she's in the, oh my gosh, it's right on the tip of my tongue, it starts with an S, Smithsonian. And it shows Julia Child is, and it shows her whole kitchen and like how she used to cook in it. It was really neat with her pots and pans on the wall. But when the first time I watched the movie and I really got inspired by it, I was actually doing my rotations for my internship, which was all over Oregon. That's a whole nother story, but we converted the prison bus into an RV, and then we were in that for 9 months, all over going to my different rotations for my registered dietitian schooling. And there was no room, obviously, to cook and be like inspired to do a lot of things. So now we've been in this house for 4 years, and I'm like, dang, I kind of forgot that I wanted to spend more time on these. And my stepmom is French, and Dustin and I are actually, my husband, we're learning French right now, and she's our tutor. If you guys are looking for a great tutor, she's amazing. She does online too. We do ours through Zoom. She's in San Diego. But yes, we're learning French. I think that's what kind of reminded me about that I wanted to kind of go through the technique of French cooking and challenge myself with these. So I just got these books. I got the 2 volumes. It's a set, and book 1 is, well, one of these, but they're called Mastering the Art of French Cooking, and she did it with, it says Alfred Canot. I can't remember that name. Yeah, actually these 3 names, Child, Bartholi, and Beck, are the 3 names of the women who did the book together. And in the movie it talks about it a little bit more, but she wrote a book about her life as well in France. So, and I just love how much like her husband supported her, and like he would take all the pictures, for all the pictures you see in the book. Interesting, there's no pictures in this book. So I have another book by Julia Child, and it's called The Joy of Cooking. Yeah, it's huge. It actually has pictures of her techniques. Like she'll show you how she's like did the needle and fat thread or whatever it's called. See, I'm gonna learn so much, and I'm so excited. Oh, my brain's about to burst. But like I love learning techniques and how to do stuff, and how it's kind of like a lot of the Cordon Bleu schooling she passed into these books. So I'm excited about that. And it was meant to be to make French cooking accessible for the American cook, everyday cook. So is the claim. So we'll find out about that as well. So I have not made any of her recipes here. I'm excited. I have some on my mind that I really am looking forward to trying, like a beef bouillon. Oh my god, I can't say that. Beef bouillon something. The Ashley Palmonte. I grew up with my mom making that. There's a lot of things she made that I'm like, oh man, her flavors were really, really spot on. So I will be referring to her to help me with making sure I get these correct. But yeah, and we live in Oregon, so there's a big part of the year. I don't know about where you guys live, but if you live somewhere cold in the wintertime, you can really look forward to having these like warming meals and just being able to get out of the rain. We have yeah, good sized kitchen. So it'll be nice just to, that's what I want to do on this channel. I want to share the recipes that I'm making, some modifications I make, maybe to make it a little healthier, because I can't take that out of me, but I really still will trying to stay true to most of the techniques as they are. So these are just 2 of maybe 30 cookbooks I have that are, you know, they range from different countries and cultures. I have an Iranian one. I'm half Iranian, so I have an Iranian cookbook that's a huge, amazing one. I still need to dive. I've done 2 recipes out of that book. You know what? It's because once you start cooking in that way, you need to have all those ingredients kind of stocked in your pantry. So for me, I tend to stay on one cookbook or one like style of cooking for a little bit. But just so we know, I will be adding in my green smoothies in the morning and still having some chia pudding and oatmeal and in my protein shakes that I love to make, and salads. So just because I'm going to be trying to do some of these recipes doesn't mean I'm going to be only doing this. And that's what I want to talk about in the channel too. Like, how can I still have healthy habits, but be able to enjoy food and cooking and wherever you're at in your life, you know? We are allowed to have, it's about giving ourselves permission to be present and to pivot accordingly. And that is, in my life right now, Sarah has full permission to pivot. Repeat after me. I have permission to pivot. That means in any way, shape, or form, if there's something in your life that you're like, I don't really like that about myself, you can change that. You can 100% change that. Just by thinking that though, does that make you different? Does that make it all of a sudden changed? No, that's where learning, okay, what are the healthy habits that I can replace the bad things in my mind that I want to change? So it's learning. First, you have to learn to grow, and then it becomes about implementing what you've learned and creating healthy habits from that. But we're gonna talk about all of that because I'm still growing too. And that's the best thing about, that's why I was like, you know what, I want to start this channel so I can just like be my authentic self as I'm going through this journey of like, I will be tested sometimes, and then sometimes I'm gonna force myself to do the authentic recipe. Even just saying that like gives me the hives. Like, I always edit everything. Even my makeup, I alter it, I edit, I mix stuff all the time. So it's really hard for me to like stick to a recipe. So those of you that are good at that, please give me all the good vibes of sticking to a recipe. But you know what though, I will say, giving yourself permission to pivot sometimes can also mean like, maybe I want to change the workout program I'm doing and I don't have to finish it. Like, that is kind of what I do. I'm the queen of changing things. So if you need any kind of help with that, I can help you. Yeah, there's definitely pros and cons to. So for me, I've learned that if I'm just stuck in this one regimented way, then sometimes I can lose my creativity. And for me, it's important to be able to have that flow of creativity and that permission to be creative. So just kind of thinking about, if I'm only eating the same exact thing every day for every meal, am I being creative with it? You tell me. Or are you needing that regimented habit, schedule because you're busy with so many other things in your life? Then that makes sense. So it's just kind of looking at your life as a whole and where you're at, and also where do you want to go in all the ways. You know what? I think I'm gonna end there, but I do want to add one more thing, as this is an intro and I'm just kind of sharing a lot of me. I have created in the last 15 years so many different handouts and like grocery shopping lists and meal prep guides and like a ton of stuff, over 100 pages for sure of just resources. And also just, I even made like a healthy habits journal. But all that to say, I want to share some of these things for free with you guys. So by just being a member here and subscribing, and I will be sharing resources along the way as well. And I also have a bunch of my favorite things. If you know me, you know I have a lot of favorite things that are like the most amazing sports bra, or like the most amazing whatever it is at the moment, because again, that always changes, and the weather changes, and our skin changes. So I love that kind of stuff. So I will be sharing my favorite things, and I also work part-time for Nourish, which is a nutrition company. So I will do a video just about them and how you can sign up. And so they take insurance, which is amazing. So I love that we can help all sorts of, all types of people, and kind of, I just love that if you don't have any money to spend on this, you can get your insurance to cover it, and you have an amazing dietitian on the other end. Like literally all the women, or I guess there's some guy dietitians, but all the ones I've met have been women, and they are freaking amazing. And I'm like, man, whoever comes in here and uses their insurance on this, they're getting an amazing resource for an amazing free price. So I would take advantage of that if I were you. If you have insurance, I'll share the information later with the link of how to check if your insurance is covered by it. But again, it's called Nourish. And yeah, and then if you only have a certain amount of sessions and then they get used up, by next year, you'll be able to get all of those sessions again. So every year it renews, which is actually really cool. So we could even set like once a month, or so you can like work until next year. Or some people, I just do like 2 months full, and then they'll take a break of 6 months or something like that. But yeah, just depends how many sessions you get. And but yeah, I'll talk more about that later. So I just wanted to share, I'll be sharing resources, my favorite things, free things. What more can there be? Recipes, challenges, because this is gonna be challenging, but exciting, right? If we don't have challenges, then we don't have any, that's the only way we grow. Think about that. So if you're not feeling like you're growing, think about where in your life could you challenge yourself. And maybe you're having too many challenges and you need some grounding. Do that too. Do that. If you need that, do that. So I'm gonna see you in the next video, because I'm gonna like look through my books and kind of get an idea of my plan with these. But I hope you have a great day. Thank you for stopping by my channel. I look forward to seeing more of you and hearing about your habits, whatever they are, and kind of just being in this together, right? This is what community is all about. And sometimes we live places where we don't have a lot. That's kind of me. I'm from San Diego, but I'm in Oregon, and I've made a few good friends here, but it's nice to be able to communicate with this stuff with more people. So welcome to the community. I'm very grateful that you're here, and I will see you in the next video. For real now. I'm like signing off. Okay, for real. Bye.